Hey friends, another sketchbook video here. Today I'm going to be drawing some aquatic animals. I've lately been drawing a lot of furry friends, tigers, hare, deer. So if that sounds like your kind of vibe, then let's get it. Welcome. I normally don't usually post the sketch part of these videos because sometimes it feels quite intimate and I feel like a lot of pressure when I'm drawing for the first time. It's a little bit revealing. It feels like I'm naked. It feels like the naked part of me, which I don't kind of like showing often. But I love you guys and I want you to see my process from the beginning to the end in its purest form. I think that's fair and I think I owe it to you guys to show you that because not every sketch is good looking, not every sketch is pretty to look at, so I think it's important as an artist to showcase that, because often in most cases on social media we tend to see the end product all the time and never the start of the process, and art is just a lot of process and the journey from A to B. So you guys are in luck. Today you get to see the beginning process to a lot of my sketchbook pieces. The reason I wanted to draw aquatic animals and I coined these guys the aquatic folk, I wanted to see how many kind of like small little creatures I could fit into one page on my sketchbook. And where we live at the moment, there's a beautiful lake and I keep seeing some ducklings, fish, there's a few pike and roach around. Every time the sun is shining and I go past this place, I'm like super inspired just by like life's greatness to produce these things on like a spiritual level. And honestly, it will just be like a little fish swimming around. I'm like, how crazy I get to see this with my own eyes, and how crazy that I've like taught myself the ability to draw this, and it's just a no-brainer. Honestly, life makes a lot more sense when you just appreciate the little things going on around you, and it's just something I love like drawing inspiration from. There's so much whimsy and wonder if you just take a second to have a little look around, guys. I'm not a philosopher, but let me tell you, look up for once, look in the water, notice how the leaves blow in the wind, notice how the birds fly around looking for seeds or worms. It's beautiful. Life is bloody beautiful. And if I can like bundle all of that up into a page in my sketchbook, then you're damn right I'm gonna do it. So I started off with the crowd because I had a really strong idea of blending two colours into one in like sort of like a gradient effect, which when I was doing I thought turned out really well. And I'll always start off by like rubbing the main Pentel out, so I've got no pencil peeking through like the colour pencil. Also, a side note, if you're wondering why I properly shaded some of this drawing, is because I wanted to make a pretty picture for Instagram, just so I could appease the algorithm gods and get some mileage out of this content. And it's so funny because art takes such a long time and I'm supposed to just post on a platform that forgets about everything really quickly and just moves on to the next thing. Like, no, if this took me a few hours, then best believe I'm gonna get like 5 posts out of it. Like, I'm never gonna feel bad about doing that. Anyway, essentially what I'm doing is just building up different shadows and leaving the paper to shine through as a highlight, which you'd have seen before if you follow the channel. But what I'm trying to do is just build depth with layering darker pencils on top of each other. I'll rarely go over a highlighted area unless once I finished it, then it kind of looks a bit too bright in some areas. I'll darken it with the lightest pencil I've used in that color group. So sometimes I'll use the lightest green to soften some of those highlights so they're less harsh. This will balance it out more and it'll feel like more of a coherent piece. I've also been doing this really harsh like contrasted line around the animal itself just to make it pop out of the page even more. I really like it. It looks really illustrative and it's kind of just like the thing I'm going for at the moment. As well as actually the animal itself, I like almost doing them realistic, but they could be in some sort of fantasy world that I've created. I feel like to distinguish that away from the realistic side, it's adding like a weird eye or like weird colors together, making it a gradient, and adding like huge scales on a fish where this necessarily wouldn't be in real life, but I'm still using a realistic reference. I just want to pull away and like see how far I can stretch that reference into a visual language that makes sense to me in like a fantasy context. I'm not sure that actually makes sense, but if you understand what I mean, then thank you. I just, for too long, I was like referring to a reference in like a realistic way, and it was great for practice, great for understanding like what I should be actually drawing and like what part to make it onto the page. But after a while, I want to just extrapolate this feeling of, I know that's a fish in real life, but like something setting it out apart, and it's people can look at it and be like, oh, that's 2-4's work, that's his signature way of making an eye, like that's his signature way of like representing this animal. Something from my last video, I really tried to focus on like simplifying my style. After I posted that, I actually like sat for a couple of weeks and thought, wait, hold on, if I just simplify so much, the proof of my style and the proof of like what I like doing in art is a lot in the details, like adding these little flares of, there's like a universe that feels like there's a starry universe in their eyes, or there's like overcomplicated like lines that almost don't make sense sometimes in like a realistic way, then I'm gonna lose who I am as an artist, and I'm coming too far away from like what I believe in and like my actual like instinct when it comes to putting pen to paper, and I don't want to lose that. So I kind of had to like reconnect with this sketchbook page a little bit, focus on the parts that make me an artist and the way I use color pencil, because I don't see many people using color pencil like this, but it's like a really specific way that I love to use it. So I feel like I should be drawing on that more, pardon the pun. I feel like I should be focusing on that more and kind of funneling myself down that route, because that's actually who I am, or what makes me like creatively fulfilled and like a creative person, and that's like my creative identity. How many times can this man say creative in one sentence? Challenge. Bloody hell. I was really impressed with how these aquatic creatures turned out today, and I think over the years of using this medium, I've really tried to understand how I can squeeze out as much saturation from the color pencil as possible. And it really is just layering and like the amounts of pressure you use. Obviously, the more pressure you use, the more color is going to be visible on the page. But I feel like mixing different colors slightly together adds more saturation anyway, because you're covering up those the white parts of the page. You're kind of like filling in the grooves of the actual page, and it's just so fun to have like a sketchbook or a piece of paper filled with so much color, but the actual art and the composition makes sense still. It's not just, it's like a controlled explosion of color, and I love that about my work at the moment, and it's definitely something I'm going to keep doing. And I've said so many times for this video, like this is just what I'm going to keep doing. But you're going to see that. I especially like this octopus. I feel like I was doing really interesting things with how the highlights and like the head of the octopus look. It's I tried to make it look like it had almost like lumps on its head, like it was bubbly. I think I achieved that quite well using this like quite harsh shadows underneath like the highest point of where the highlight would be. But towards the end, it started looking a little bit flat compared to the other creatures on the page. I think a lot of detail was crammed into such a small area on these other creatures that I wanted to replicate that. They just felt like it was just a bit flat in color, and it was just kind of one color over one area. So in the end, I just started adding like some crazy lines that didn't really make sense to anything, but I just thought they looked cool. And it kind of looked like he was just changing colors between red and purple. And then once I added these details, I could see that compositionally the whole page made sense together, and the octopus wasn't kind of just sitting on its own in its own little like area. All the contrasts and the highlights and stuff made sense as like one complete page. Super happy with how the aquatic folk page turned out. I'm trying to aim to finish this sketchbook this year. It takes me so long to finish a sketchbook, and I don't know why. I think I just like, sometimes like we'll just sketch random stuff in it, then I'll try and perfect it, and that's just not the way to go about in a sketchbook. But I'm hoping to have a sketchbook taught out soon once I finish this. I promise. And then also I really want to do an art studio tour since I've moved into a new setup now and show you all the art stuff I have in my possession. So this is the final page. Turned out great, colours look amazing. Let me know what you think. And back to the non-voiceover version of me. Thank you so much for watching today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed a little peek into my sketchbook. Let me know what water friend was your favourite down in the comments below. Make sure you like the video and subscribe. Yeah, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.